Yeah, so there's one that sticks out. So last year, back when people could still hang out and do shows, right? Um, I got to headline SOBs last October, which was like super dope. And I was moving a million miles an hour at that point in my life. Like I also fight too, so I was training for a fight, and I was like had the show coming up, and but I was just doing so many things at once. And just I remember you had to like pitch it right and sell tickets and that kind of thing. So I was just like stressed about all these other things. But then like finally doing the show and just seeing like not only like my homies there, but just like all these randoms I never met, like vibing to it, rocking with it, and just having a good time. Like that was a moment where I was like, oh wow, all right, I actually like did something, and that felt really cool. So I think that's number one for me. Yeah, no, that's a great question. So I think maybe at first in my career I was trying to just figure out my style and my sound, which happens to everybody, right? And but in doing that, I think I made some songs that weren't as authentic to me as I feel like all the music is now. So I'll probably just tell my younger self, like, whatever song you make, if it feels real, other people will notice that that's real, and that's gonna take you farther than any other like sound or trend or whatever you want to hop on. So I think that's the advice I would give. So yeah, man. Yeah, music is super important to me in all aspects. So I want to do my thing. Like I want people to like see what I have to offer, to be like impacted by my music, obviously, and to like really be able to share my creativity with the world. But I also want to be able to redistribute that into the world. Like, there's a whole thing going on with people not viewing music as an important part of education. I would love to like be able to leave my mark on that and bring that back into the schools, like bring that back into the curriculums, because I wouldn't have been a musician if I wasn't like, given a choice, in like fourth grade to either play the trumpet or play the saxophone or that kind of thing, right? I chose the trumpet, and then like from there I was like, oh, what about dancing? Oh, what about singing? What about, like, it just opened my mind up to so many different creative endeavors. And I think bringing that back to people is something that's really important to me. So, I want to do my thing. I want to have my roses while I can still smell them, get to the highest point I can get to. But I definitely always want to bring it back too at the end of the day. So, yeah. Yeah, I mean, mentors in terms of music, like there's people I've been a fan of, for sure. Like, when I was younger, obviously a fan of like Usher, Boyz II Men, like Lauryn Hill, those kinds of people. But in terms of people that I really like look at what they did and how they kind of made their mark in the music industry, like I really respect people who stuck to their vision despite people telling them like, oh, this ain't gonna work time after time, right? So like I mentioned, for people like Anderson .Paak, like he really had to just be like, and that's why I kind of love his name, right? But the .Paak, so people had got to remember the details, you know what I'm saying? I like stuff like that, right? Skepta too had to just be like, this is what I'm doing. Y'all gonna get it when you get it. Took them a while, but then they got it, you know what I'm saying? Then obviously Kanye West, man. Like, I think Kanye West is everybody's guy to some extent, right? Whatever version of Kanye you like the version at some point, And so and he's the ultimate example, man. Pretty much like people were just tolerating him because they didn't want the beats to get away. And all of a sudden he was like, no, I'm a rapper. They're like, word, yeah, cool. And he really made it happen. And obviously he's like a living legend at this point, right? So I think probably those three people for me. And then on like an impact perspective, like what Akon is doing is great, man. All the stuff he's doing with, bringing electricity to Africa and, Senegal in particular, and just everything in that domain is fantastic. So yeah, I would say those are my people.